This week, we talk about a new Mandalorian preview for Season 2 just around the corner. Some interesting and enlightening comments from DaisyRidley about Tross. And, come on, you can't get through an episode these days without more talk of Lego. All that and more this week on the Droids. Welcome back to the Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast. It's me, Sam. I'm here with Chris. There's nobody else. It's just the two of us.
It's just us. What we call ourselves? Are we the Bouncy Boys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At this point in time, does it matter what we call ourselves? We're here. We're showing up. That's what's important, Sam.
There's going to be a crazy run on bounce houses when this all lets up.
Because Bouncy Boy Nation.
Bouncy Boy Nation, first of all, has exploded. People are listening to our episodes.
Oh, I'm just getting word. All of the Droids You're Looking For, Star Wars podcast, bouncy castles are sold out on the merch store.
But we're gonna have some select special editions.
Yep. Look out for
because Star Wars ain't nothing without a history of special editions.
Exactly. They have banthas on them.
Those are going to be available prepay only, direct to Sam's PayPal.
Because I don't have Venmo. Oh, you don't have Venmo? Yeah, that's a fact about Sam.
Now everyone knows it. All right, stop trying to Venmo me, fans.
Oh no, this changes everything. You're gonna get millions of dollars now.
How you been, Chris?
Been good. Been just just doing as well as one can during these times, and just wish everyone to be safe and happy and healthy during these pandemic times and everything else going on. But I'm here. I'm with you. We got half the droids. We can talk Star Wars. So that to me, that's a good night.
We can talk Star Wars half effectively.
Exactly. Maybe not effectively at all.
Well, in case in point, we're going to dive right into an article that was published days ago that we had plenty of time to read, but neither of us have read. Entertainment Weekly did a season 2 preview that was kind of opening up the curtains, a peek behind the doors, if you will.
Peek behind the sausage, if you will. To coin a phrase.
For season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is coming up right now. It's October?
Yeah, 30th.
30th?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Halloween Eve. I wonder if it's going to be spooky scary.
Oh, I would love it if we got a Halloween-ish episode of The Mandalorian.
What if this year's Star Wars holiday special was the holiday wasn't Life Day, but it was what would you call
Holocron
Halloween?
Day? Not Halloween. Happy Holocron.
Oh, it would be All Sith Day.
All Sith Day. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
I like that.
But
it's right.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. No,
somebody should do a straight up Star Wars horror.
Yeah.
Get Ari Aster on that.
They tried. The episode, I think, the episode on the ship from The Mandalorian last season, that was a little bit like the thing. That was a little
the one on the ship, you say.
This is a Star Wars podcast. We're experts in Star Wars. The one where they're all trapped on the ship.
The prison? The prison?
Yeah, the prison, the brig, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't stand that episode. That was my least favorite episode of the season.
Because you were too scared of it. It was so scary.
I really hated the episode because I had to wash so many pairs of drawers after.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm obviously I'm very excited for this.
I really bailed on draws there. I didn't know if that was
yeah.
I don't know if that's an okay thing for me to I don't know if that's appropriation or something.
I don't know.
So
I'm not sure.
So it came out as drawers, and I don't know if that's how people.
I think.
Look, what I meant
is
I soiled myself repeatedly. I was so scared.
I think that makes up for any atrocity you may have made. And I think I'm excited for this in the fact that I hadn't really thought too much about it because they've been pretty quiet about it. We haven't got a trailer. There was no Star Wars Celebration buzz or anything like that. So it does feel in a way like it's just kind of like popping up, and I like that, even though it's 45 days away.
Well, it's cool that it's very cool that with the rollout of Disney Plus and just it's like, to use the business term, the vertical integration of Disney, that they own literally every aspect of this. They own the characters, the rights. They own Star Wars. They own the place where it's shot. They produce the show. They own the distribution of the show.
They own the Baby Yoda puppet that cost $1 million.
They own the one that you bought.
That's true.
To be honest,
that's true. I'm just leasing it at this point.
We're all just renting.
If I
from Disney,
turn my back for 1 second, Disney has that back in their grip, and I try to slip right through.
But it's very cool that they can do that. They can make these kind of announcements, and they can do stuff on a tighter timeline. They're able to say they know exactly what their projections are for earning, how much this thing costs to make, what their subscription rates are, and everything. And so they can literally just, like, they know it's greenlit, they've made it, it's in the can, it's edited, and then they just say, like, great. Now, what's the optimum time to, like, saturate the market with awareness? And somebody came up with, like, oh, it's 45 days, so announce it.
Yeah, and they know that to the T.
But there's not the need for the long run-up and, like, the slow marketing cycle that, you normally see in the film industry that's been completely disrupted.
Well, they have like you said, like how they're vertically integrated. They have a pretty captive audience. I think a lot of it is just, like, let's keep these people
shackled.
Around. I'm in. I think also it's the first time we've got, like, I know the animated series have done this, and I think that's kind of a different realm, but it's the first time with, like, a live action Star Wars property that we've gone, like, year after year and getting, like, the sequel. Like, we haven't had to wait, like, 3 years in between, so I feel like that's kind of exciting. It's the first time we don't have to wait, which I like.
It's great. I will. I 100%, Chris. I hate waiting for things. I hate getting trailers for movies so far out now that it's like I have to wait a year and a half for the film that I was advertised and promised. That annoys me. There's a lot here. Here's what I think the big takeaway. We're both super excited. The high level stuff they talk about is that they definitely looked at the trilogies of Star Wars, that sort of dark second chapter. They're wanting to take all the characters, to new places. They're wanting to go deeper with the relationships. They're adding a ton of new characters. If you read the article, you can finally happily know how old everyone involved in the project is.
Entertainment Weekly, very big on naming everyone's age.
It's so strange. Every time someone's introduced, it's like before their credential, before, like, showrunner, it'll say, like, the 53-year-old Favreau.
I feel like that's maybe
I got that right. It is 53.
That's pretty good. It might. I feel like that might also be, like, on Entertainment Weekly's, like, readers. I feel like there are people interested in that aspect of show business, so they're just like, I wonder how old that person is.
Yeah, it's probably a very age-obsessed crowd. There's some great photos. But as I hinted, as I led on, Chris and I are not the experts for this article, so I think we will probably dive into it deeper with all the droids. So there's more to come on this. There's more. We're going to stretch this one out. But generally, Chris, just generally, from our quick skim of the article, from knowing everyone's ages, from knowing who's coming back, the new cast members. How, like, and obviously knowing that it's you don't have to wait. How are you feeling? How are you excited? How's this hitting you? You mentioned general. Let me pull a specific line from. No, I'm just kidding. I'm feeling really good about this. I think just some of the highlights. They mentioned Rosario Dawson, which could be an Ahsoka tease. Which very excited about that. I think that would be awesome if that happens in this series. Give it to us now, I guess. Like, she should have her own show, but if they can cross that over, like her looking for Ezra, amazing. I think they mentioned George Lucas, also great. Get him in there. Get them all in there. I'm very excited for this. I think the imagery on the covers
it makes you feel back like, oh, it's Star Wars season again. Like you get that, that little tingle you get in your belly. I get that. There's silence. The Star Wars tingle. And also, it looks like on so there's two covers you can get. It looks like on the one cover, Baby Yoda, he's got some wrinkles. They're not naming his age in here. He's looking a little older.
He is. I also think that from some of like the artwork that we're seeing, the show logo and everything, he looks a little taller. I saw a side-by-side photo somewhere on Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out Instagram, owned by Facebook, everybody's favorite
hashtag
effing company.
Instagram.
Hashtag whatever. Hashtag Mandalorian. But yeah, he's a little bit bigger. That's exciting. Here's something that excites me that I am actually pulling, because I do have the article up in front of me, and I am skimming it while I'm trying to also guide. This is a true Bouncy Boy experience.
Yeah.
So Favreau, this is an interesting thing. Several the directors they name here. So first of all, they don't name Filoni as a director, but I have to imagine he's going to be directing more in season 2. But they do name Rick Famuyiwa, who did my favorite episode, which is episode 2, and then the episode that you mentioned, the spooky scary on the prison ship episode. Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
Robert Rodriguez is going to direct. Favreau himself is going to direct.
Finally.
Which I know that Ryan, who's editing this, is just dancing in his little editing chair.
Get your coin out, Ryan.
Hey, flip that coin. It's coming up heads, because Favs himself. Showrunner Favreau.
Heads is
of
good in
Lion King.
Heads is good in this scenario.
I think we're gonna. I guarantee you, his episode is gonna be the one that features like heavy armor Mando a lot. There'll be a lot. There'll be a lot of one-liners.
I am.
And lastly,
Mando Man.
Carl Weathers is directing.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That's. Pardon me, that's cool as hell. I'm really excited about that.
I'm very
That's
interested.
really neat.
Has he directed before?
Oh, that's a great question that I would need to go farther into the internet to know the answer to. The article does not say. It also, I'm not seeing his age, but I'm sure it's in here.
They show respect for Carl Weathers, none of the other actors.
Yeah. But Favreau also,
he's
like,
72.
very intentionally name drops Game of Thrones, which I think, when we were just chatting just before recording, I think we were kind of asking, is that leaning towards tipping this being more serialized or more episodic? Because one of the things that I felt was a possible weakness of season 1 was that it was kind of neither. It was both serialized and episodic in a way that didn't quite hit for me. I personally want to see something episodic. Just give me the week to week,
Yeah.
But there's some cool seeds they planted that are exciting. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as I feel like in the first season it was probably better to be the way it was, just in case they put all their eggs in a basket that just wasn't that fun. But now they have a lot of options, so I would hope they used the time and found the right story to kind of like double down on if that's the route they want to go. There's a great little quote here from Filoni, and we can kind of leave it at that. He goes, "You want The Empire Strikes Back to be better than A New Hope," and I think if that's coming out of Filoni, I think we're going to be in good shape.
I do. I want that. I get that. Giancarlo Esposito, by the way, is 62.
Wow.
And he looks great, and he's really excited to. He does say he's really excited to have a lightsaber, and I think he means the dark saber.
But
he's excited to be in a show where he can wear a cape and own it.
Yeah.
Dope. I am too.
I wonder if we'll get a little surprise George Lucas directed episode.
We're gonna have more of Grand Moff Gideon, which is exciting. Moff Gideon or Grand Moff Gideon? I don't know
if he got the promotion.
You don't know if he's a GM, if he's general manager.
Yeah, I don't know. Can he unionize? I don't know. Can we?
So
unionize?
we'll get more of him, which is good.
Mike and Ryan are going to come back, and we're like, nope, we're not doing it. We're not going on air.
I wouldn't want to record with us after this either.
Exactly. Yeah, from their perspective. Yeah, exactly. They're like, Mike and Ryan are like, we can't work under these conditions.
From my perspective, the bouncy boys are evil. Well, then you are truly lost. All right.
I'm just kidding. I don't hate them. I love them and I miss them. But I think, that'll do it for this segment.
Okay.
Go
ahead. Take us into the next segment.
I was going to say before we got too far into it, because we do want to get their opinions, and I think it'll be a fun... Speaking of Disney...
educated opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, speaking of Disney, we just mentioned not doing, like, a huge marketing push. We're doing it for them. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they have how many podcasts out there
go
about
to
Star
iTunes,
Wars?
type in Star Wars, and download all 10,000 podcasts. Amazing. Well, hey, you know what? If you like this podcast more than those other 10,000, please let us know. You can write to us, droidspod@gmail.com, Instagram @droidspod, Facebook, The Droids You're Looking For Podcast, Twitter @droidspod. Go to our YouTube channel, search for The Droids You're Looking For Podcast. There you can watch this delightful playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic and Ryan playing Jedi Fallen Order. I'd be amiss if I didn't mention that. Remiss. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. But I think I got them all. Wow,
you nailed it.
Hey,
you nailed it all. That was
I messed up on a word that I've never said before.
Seamless segue. No, look, don't worry, Ryan's gonna edit that right out. He'll never know. Exactly. I know he spends hours editing these every week. It's incredible.
Really sometimes we just say 6 words and he gets 45 minutes out of them, which is very impressive.
Chris, let's talk about Mike's hot topic of the week.
Yeah.
Mike's hot topic also.
Mike's hot topic. The hot topic at the mall.
Not doing so well since malls have been closed.
No.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry about that, Mike.
Mike's hot topic of the week. Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Dropping some knowledge in, one of her, I guess, regular interviews with Josh Gad.
I think they're just friends. I really.
Yeah. Why? I'm not a Gad fan. I don't have the gift for Gad.
That's good. You show up to a party without a gift for Gad. You don't want to do that. I don't mind him. I think he's fine. I think.
I guess I think he's fine too. That's the highest praise I can give. Yeah, he's fine.
Neither here nor there with him. What's going on there?
So, he asked her about, the big reveal, the big plot twist in The Rise of Skywalker, which I hope we don't have to give a spoiler warning to a Star Wars podcast. But the big twist is that, of course, we do get a reveal.
She's one of Sheev's kids.
We get a re-reveal
yes.
of Rey's parentage and lineage, which is that she's the granddaughter of Emperor Sheev Palpatine, zombified.
A clone of Palpatine.
Right. Oh, we did learn since that it was a clone. But
we don't need to go into
what she revealed is that she said, "Oh yeah, I really didn't know during filming. It was it oscillated a bunch. Originally, there was talk of her being a Kenobi, and then there was we explored her really being from no one and of nothing, and then they told me that I was going to be the granddaughter of Palpatine, and it was like, wow, that's really exciting to play, and then J.J. Abrams said, well, it's not certain yet. We're not sure, So this was during filming. This is throughout filming. They're kind of like changing the background and what storyline she's playing. And so I think this highlights kind of two things, right? A good, something really beautiful about filmmaking and something really ugly about filmmaking,
sure.
Right?
Sure.
For me, the beauty is that these things really are sort of living art projects while they're being made, and they are true collaborations, and they are a bunch of creators genuinely trying to find the best story in the moment, and they're the right collaborators are open to changing and shifting ideas. And I think when you look at Daisy Ridley, no matter what you think of the story of that movie, her performance delivers. She can still hit the beats. She knows what she's doing, and she's a game enough collaborator, and that's beautiful. JJ's clearly open to lots of ideas. That's awesome. Now, there's an ugly side to this, Chris.
Oh, boy.
and his name's Sheev. Why did they do? It's just like clear they didn't know what they were doing.
You know what? I think that maybe they were just. It could have just been this thing where they were rolling the dice. One day it's Kenobi, one day it's no one day it's Sheev, and then you run out of time. And you're like, hey, can we go refilm that? And like, no, we're out of time. And they're like, well, we're stuck with Sheev. And they're like, yep, we're stuck with Sheev. Like, I think, I feel like that style of filmmaking, like you said, for all its beauty, I think can also lend to a little bit of intentional or not, just a level of procrastination where it's like, we'll figure it out. Where sometimes you got to see the forest through the trees. While you might be in it, you might think this is it. We got it. This is going to blow people's minds. And then all of a sudden, you take a step back and you're like, oh, wow, I was really reading the Sheev magazine back then. I was way into Sheev. And then all of a sudden, you get a different outcome than what you expected.
You gotta see the force.
Yes.
For the trees.
There you go, the force.
You know what I mean?
The force through the trees.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing is that like that model of filmmaking, which is so cool and fun and loose, it's like, can you really do that with something this scope and scale and size? Like when it's fine to do that if you're trying to tell make a comedy or a family drama, or you're looking for some great moment in a small thriller or something like that. But like when you're trying to tell sort of like epic lore that is using the beats of a classic hero's journey, the idea of having something so large as like, are we upending and changing what we've established in this story, or are we honoring it? And to be playing with that with your lead actor in your central character storyline, it just shows to me, it kind of shows that I don't know, it suggests to me a pride that really pushes into arrogance, where it's like, we don't know what to do and we're not going to ask.
Right.
It's like, we don't know if this should be Kenobi or should she be, and we're going to trust ourselves to feel it in the moment and make a decision. And that's apparently what they did. And it's just like, well, it sucked.
It could have
also
been
a bad movie. It's a bad decision and a bad movie.
It could have been, before you spiral out there, it could have been also just a kind of setup to fail from kind of Disney just pushing that timeline so tight to make this movie so quickly with switching directors and screenplays and everything. Like, it could have been literally they just didn't know. Other theory could have been they wanted to keep it like a secret, so they were just not letting anyone in on it.
I think that's almost certainly true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fair to criticize the filmmakers here, but I think it's definitely fair and required that we criticize the studio. I mean, like, this was pushed. This was really forced, and I don't know whether it was.
Do you mean forced?
I meant this was really forested. But I don't know. Is that from Disney corporate? Is that from?
I want a name. No, I'm just kidding.
I would. God, I would love a name.
And then can I have a job, please, if we get to meet?
So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's I don't know. There's something interesting to me about having kind of that revelation, the announcement of Mando, and the new. I've got to mention this week the Dune trailer dropped.
Oh yes,
and like a lot of people, I think, just in sci-fi in general, if you've read any sci-fi novels, Dune is near the top of the list. It's always kind of listed as one of the great American sci-fi novels, and it's often. It's very clear that there are elements of Dune that lead into Star Wars. Mm-hmm. There are like parts of Dune that lend themselves to kind of the Jedi and the Force and the hero's journey. Yep. And to see that trailer where it's like, oh my God, they're about to unleash a completely new lore and fantasy world that a lot of people probably haven't read, and if they have any familiarity with it, it's with David Lynch's movie, which doesn't quite nail it, you know?
No, it's definitely refreshing, even though it is territory. I think this is the third remake of it. I believe there was like a sci-fi miniseries.
Oh, you're right. You are right. There was a miniseries,
I think even though it is kind of well-trodden territory, I think it does feel refreshing in a way. Like it's a new kind of voice in sci-fi, and it's like a new vision of like something, which I think is pretty exciting.
And it looks like it honestly, this film, like Dune, looks to be doing a little bit of what Star Wars and Empire and Return of the Jedi did super well, which is like there looks to be a lot of sort of, again, I'm not naive. I know it's not all practical, but like there's a lot of actual practical sets, and there's a lot of like merging the special effects and computer effects into a real world, which is really exciting. They shot in the desert, they built real sets.
It looks visceral, and Star Wars connection right there. He must not have left that desert after The Rise of Skywalker. Oscar Isaac.
There you go.
He must have been like, everyone's leaving. He's like, I got to stick around. I got to film Dune.
Aquaman stayed in the desert whenever they shot that middle sequence that goes to the desert.
Exactly. That's a weird choice.
But it's a great cast. It's really exciting, and it does just highlight for me like this. I think the best case scenario is that we end this year, we get a great Dune movie that pushes on Star Wars and puts some pressure to say, hey, you guys got to come back. You got to nail it again. You got to nail it like you did with The Last Jedi. You have to nail it like you did with The Force Awakens. Because and I believe the cinematography. It's Greg Fraser, who I think did Rogue One.
Oh wow! So there's some,
and he's doing the new Batman movie. Got that one in there.
There you go. And presumably a James Bond movie.
Maybe down the road. Yeah, he didn't do. Cary Fukunaga worked with. Oh no, I've got to look up his name. Linus Sandgren. I think did No Time to Die. So lots of movie stuff I'm excited about. I love the book Dune. If y'all haven't read Dune, it's definitely better than Master and Apprentice as far as sci-fi novels go. But some exciting stuff. Daisy, I love Daisy. I love her honesty. Yeah. I hope this doesn't spiral into anything that we're making it.
No. I think it's
the movie got made.
I do like the fact that these actors in these movies are starting to speak a little more candidly, and not so preciously about these things. I think that's what Star Wars needs right now. I think just
it tells you who's coming back and who's not.
Yeah, exactly. It certainly does. A little comeback to reality. Speaking of series, which was 2 segments ago, worth mentioning Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor mentioned that the Obi-Wan series will start spring next year, so it's official. That's when the production plans are. So
that's about a year delay, sort of, right? But that gives them time to get the story.
That's fine. Get it all right.
Get it right. Get it tight.
It's good. Like it. I think it's probably dependent on Hayden's availability. I know he's Canadian, so he probably is not allowed over the border for quite a while. So
good.
I'll figure that out.
Just be safe out there, folks.
Please.
Don't get loosey-goosey with the masks now.
Nope. Keep them on. Be like Mando.
It's fall. We're getting back into flu season.
Yep.
All right. Wear your mask. This is the way.
This
Chris,
is the way. Yes.
I mentioned in passing Return of the Jedi sometime during this podcast.
Yeah.
Did you watch that recently?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about the setup. Tell me about the scenario.
Well, I went full nostalgia factor. Here's what I did. I got a Lego set. I set up a Lego set. I watched it on an old tube TV. Because that's what was in the room that I was building this Lego. And I'll tell you what, I think Star Wars is meant to be, the original especially, are meant to be watched on VHS on an old TV.
So here's what's funny.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't know about Star Wars and Empire.
That's
Some
true.
people call Star Wars New Hope. But I don't know about those two because, like, I do love. I mean, I also love the ability for me in my with my TV that's bigger than I need to be like this is a home theater setup. Like, let's watch this on the big screen in from my living room. But there is something about particularly like that 4:3 ratio.
Yeah.
For Return of the Jedi, which also, I think we've talked about it on this pod, that there was like kind of a shift in the film stock, so that movie just has a different texture to it.
Yeah, it definitely looks different. It almost looks like video. Like, there's something about it, though. When I was watching it, I felt like I was enjoying it more, because I'm like, I know there's stuff I'm not seeing, but somehow that made it better.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's that, like, the presentation, when you're seeing it in 4:3 on a tube TV, like off of VHS, the presentation kind of belies the big quality of it.
Yeah.
So you've got this thing that you're watching that, like, your brain is telling you to have low expectations for. Oh, this looks like something just like shot for TV. It's 4:3. Yeah. It's not like, it doesn't look fancy. So your brain is kind of like, okay, take this all with a grain of salt. And then it turns out to be a Star Wars movie with an awesome battle and all this stuff.
It almost does that thing where it's like it hides all the strings because of the quality level, so it almost looks more real. Like it feels like it's more visceral or something. I don't know what the quality is. I was just very surprised. I had not done that in a long time. I even watched a tube TV in a very long time, so I was like, wow. It brought it all back. But I was building
I don't know if
Legos.
I have access to a tube TV anymore. To be totally honest, I don't think my parents have one anymore, and that would be where if I were to go somewhere, I don't have one.
This was a RCA VHS TV combo.
Oh my, Mr. Moneybags.
Yeah, right,
man. Yeah,
I believe we bought it at Kmart. The building Legos, a lot of cool Star Wars Lego. I feel. Oh, there! I did it. There you go,
did
Ryan.
I was just gonna let.
There it is.
I was just Ryan. You can go ahead and insert nails on a chalkboard.
Here. Sorry, Ryan. Well, I'll put $1 in the swear jar. I was building a Lego set, and I started getting back into the Star Wars Lego. This is going to be a nightmare for me to speak from now on. I started getting back into this, so I saw that Target and had released the Bespin scene exclusive. It was supposed to be at Comic-Con, but since they have canceled the Comic-Con, they just basically sold all the Star Wars Bespin Lego scenes. So I started looking at that, but coming up next, that's already out, and if you can find one of those, good luck. Please send me one. I was not able to get it, but October 1st, they're going to release the whole Mos Eisley Cantina.
You told me before this started, you were like, yeah, I'm not going to get that one. I decided not to get that one. You tried and you couldn't.
Well, they're selling it exclusively at Target, and if you take out a Target credit card, you might be able to get one. So I'm working on it. If Target's a sponsor, are they a sponsor? I'm checking with our producer. They are?
Chris.
This show is brought to you by Target. I'm losing my mind here.
When COVID and quarantine times are over, and we're back to being able to see people and go out and eventually, I think one of the things we'll make sure to do is we'll do a Droids dinner. We'll all go get dinner together.
Yeah,
maybe we'll take a trek out to see Mike.
Yeah.
In his new digs, but we're all gonna go get dinner together. And can I assume you're gonna be putting that on your Target card?
You know what, guys? This one's on me. I've got a Target card. No idea what it does, but it enables you to buy more Legos. Mos Eisley Cantina set. It's the full deal. I gotta say, in the Lego world, they call them minifigs, the little characters. And the minifig set that it comes with is very impressive. Lego, if you go to the website, lego.com, and search for the Cantina scene, they take a very clear stance that Han shot first. They label it. They even build the little scene out. I appreciate that by them. I think they...
Now, if I try to go to Google and search for that, I won't be able to find it.
I'm not sure what Google is. But... Just search keyword Lego in your AOL browser. Remember keyword? What would it be? Keyword Droids Pod? Would that be ours?
Oh God. Sure. Yeah. I guess. I mean, it's not even here. This is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Like Droids Pod isn't in our name. It's not the title.
No, it's not. We should really change it up.
Yeah. What guys? What's our keyword?
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, if you know if you know what our keyword should be, write us in droidspod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram @droidspod, Twitter @droidspod, Facebook, The Droids Are Looking For podcast. Check out this Lego Mos Eisley Cantina. It's very impressive, though. The gang's all there. They got all the creatures, the monsters. I'm pretty excited about this. Lego VIP members, which just means you go and register on their website. Anyone could be a VIP member. September 16th and then on sale everywhere October 1st. It's a very cool build. I think it's a fun quarantine activity just to get a Lego set and dig in. This one's about, I want to say 3,000 pieces. Yeah.
Whoa.
So that would
How
take.
Many, so Chris,
So yes.
You were working on Lego while you watched the movie this weekend.
Yes, I was working on a Lego Nintendo.
You were doing the Nintendo. That's the NES, right?
Yeah.
That they came out with?
Exactly.
How many pieces was that?
That was about 3,600.
Oh my god!
I
I
think
like
so.
saw whenever I saw it, like
Yeah.
on the kind of like the ads for it.
Yeah.
I genuinely had no sense. I thought it was like a kid's Lego set.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was just like a silly like thing because it kind of looks. I mean, it looks like an old NES, which is kind of just like a box. You know,
took me about 10 hours.
When you were like sending progress shots as you made it, I like couldn't believe all this. Like it's making me think Lego are cool. Like I know Lego are cool. I just haven't done them since I was a little kid, and I don't have any. And I'm not going to get any right now because it's a bad time for me to start buying things with small pieces.
They're also very difficult to store. Like, where do you put them?
But I'm going to post a photo of the Lego Mos Eisley set on the Droids Pod Instagram. That's so if you're not following,
there you go.
Boy, is that a mistake.
Well, you know what? Maybe I could do it as a write-off for the pod if I buy it. And then I'll build it live on Instagram.
Wait, are we in LLC?
I mean, that's where
where's the how's the I'd be an owner then, right?
That'll do it for the droids you're looking for.
Well. Here?
Well, Sam, I think we've said literally pretty much the amount of words that we can say on a podcast.
I think we've hit we've hit the requisite amount of time.
Yeah.
I think you and I have collectively said nothing for the last 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Check out, if you can get the Lego Best Been Seen, let us know. Let us know where you got it. Let us know how you built it. Send a picture of it. It looks very cool. It's got a little placard. It's when Luke finds out who his daddy is.
Oh. So that is so that's sold out that instantly?
Yeah, that sold out almost instantly because it was supposed to be a Comic-Con exclusive, and then...
That one didn't look like it had tons of pieces.
No. Excuse me.
Hello?
That was very strange. I coughed and said no at the same time. No. That one's like 600 pieces or something. It's very small.
But it's more 600 pieces is still a lot of pieces.
It's more about the Sam, when you're building these big boys, 600 pieces is nothing. No, I'm just kidding. It's more about the scenery on that one. Looks pretty cool.
I'll have to see.
Yeah.
I bet I could get one.
You know what you could do? Just go online. They have all the instructions on their website. Just get the instructions and find your own Legos.
My own Lego.
I did.
You've done it 1,000 times.
I can't help
it's
it.
so funny. You do it.
I
It's
think,
the best.
I think everyone else is wrong.
I 100% also, just so you know, I'd never admit this when they're here, and they'll never believe that I actually said it. I'm going to lie to them if they call me out on it, but I 100% say Legos all the time.
Wow.
Who cares?
There you go.
Who cares?
Wow.
If you're correcting people on Legos versus Lego, what a privilege.
Wow.
What a privileged life.
Wow. Oh, there you go. This is how beef starts. This is how yib nib tips start.
That will do it for the droids you're looking for. A Star Wars podcast. Rate, review, subscribe. Do all that nonsense. Chris, it's been great. It's been great bouncing with you.
Sam, another one for the bouncy boys. Another one for the bouncy boys. Hey, may the force be with everyone.
And with you.
We're trying a new outro. That'll do it for the droid you're looking for, a Star Wars podcast.
What they throw.
Annie?
Hey, boy, want to come over and build my Lego?
I'm a flyer. I'm a Legos builder.